With the release of the PlayStation 4 Pro and the upcoming release of the Xbox Scorpio, there of course has been a lot of talk in the console space about 4K gaming. And now we have some interesting comments from the Doom lead renderer programmer, whose name I'm probably about to butcher, so forgive me. It is one Tiago Sousa. And he believes that using the 6 T-flops available within the Scorpio to achieve 4K is a waste. This extra computing power should be used for higher fidelity gaming in 1080p, even more considering the larger distance between consoles and TVs. Now, of course, I've spoken many times about both the Pro and the Scorpio, saying that in my opinion the extra computing power should be used for more frames, but it's interesting to hear from a guy responsible for such a well-running and good-looking game, and obviously an amazing game in terms of gameplay, like Doom. And he said via Twitter, quote, "Yes, even more on TV/consoles where players sit at distance, 4K is a waste of resources, but good to see people looking into approaches to decouple costs. That's a good approach in my opinion." Now, of course, while Microsoft is obviously going to be very much pushing the fact that when the Scorpio comes out it will be the most powerful console on the market, it will be able to do true 4K, so we don't know the full specs, or we know that it has 6 T-flops and 320GB per second of memory bandwidth. We don't know the full specs, so it's hard to say exactly what it's going to be capable of, but it's most likely going to be capable of true 4K, at least in some respects. I know the Pro can do true 4K on some games, but for a lot of them it's going to be upscaled or checkerboard or whatever. So while that is definitely pushed by Microsoft, that's not to say that it's required. Microsoft have made several comments from both Phil Spencer and Albert Penello that it is down to the developer how they want to utilise this extra power, but that doesn't really change the fact that it is going to be heavily pushed in the marketing as a 4K console, because obviously that sounds good. It doesn't sound as good to say, yeah, you can get 60 frames per second in marketing. You know, what sounds better? Oh, true 4K gaming console, or yeah, you can get 60 frames per second. That's cool, right? So you can kind of see why, but they are leaving it up to developers. But obviously it's interesting again still to hear from a developer in a game like Doom, which of course, you know, more frame rate the better in a game like that he feels that it is a waste of resources to go for 4K. And obviously whether or not other developers agree with him, well, we're going to have to wait and see as to the options that are available in terms of the games. You know, are most of them going to be supporting and pushing for that 4K, or is it just going to be like an extra option, but that what they're really going to be pushing is the extra frame rate? I mean, hopefully it's the frame rate. I've made my opinion pretty clear on that, but of course time will tell. And the same case with the PlayStation 4 Pro, it's only been out for a couple of days, and of course there are some games that support it both with 4K and unlocked frame rates, but what the trend actually becomes, we're going to have to wait and see. So I'd love to hear some thoughts from you guys. Do you agree with Mr. Tiago that it is indeed a waste of resources to push for 4K on Xbox Scorpio? So that is me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.